Oh man. Okay, so we're getting back into our coverage over the Onslaught crossover. Going to cover two more issues of Phase 2. And we do pick up with Cable issue number 35. And this is where you have Apocalypse finally getting involved in this event. Like, finally, after everything been popping off, he says, you know what? I think it's time for me to go ahead and get involved. But of course, for Apocalypse, he always has some kind of special reason when he does something for somebody else. Now, as we get into the opening page of the storyline, we're picking up with the Watcher. And I kind of like this a lot. And the reason why, because for the Watcher, he can't do anything at all when it comes to helping out our heroes. His task is to just watch what's happening right now for our heroes as they go up against Onslaught. He just must stand there and watch as it all goes down. And he believes that we're getting very close to the end of the era of heroes and bringing in a new era. The problem is that he has no idea what that new era could possibly be. But now we have to transition over to Cable and also, well, Susan Storm. Now, when we do, it's the two characters currently just standing in the middle of this psionic hurricane. Psionic energy just flying around in this entire area. Because for Susan, she wants to get over to where her son is at. She wants to save Franklin Richards. Now, for Cable, he's trying to tell her, like, we cannot stay here too long. With our powers combined, we are barely able to make it through this actual hurricane. We need to turn back at the moment. But for Susan, she keeps forgetting that there are other people out there who are parents just like her. The only difference is that their situations are a tad bit different than hers. But at the same time, this is a parent who's trying their best to save their child. They'll do anything to get their child back. But while you have the two characters talking to one another, you have Susan bring up the fact that when it comes to Onslaught, he's getting stronger and stronger by the minute. And that is when you have Apocalypse appear. And he says she is correct. And for me personally, this is kind of cool. And it's not because like, oh, here's Apocalypse, y'all, this powerful enemy. No, because the history behind these two characters, because it all began when it came to Apocalypse giving young Nathan, when he was a baby, the techno-organic virus. And then after that, so many other things happened between these two characters. Like, they are literally mere enemies for one another. They are destined to fight against one another. But for Apocalypse, he came here to supposedly help. Now for Cable, he knows he cannot truly trust Apocalypse at all. And you have the two characters at first battle against each other. Now, neither side is really able to win at the moment. But you also have Apocalypse tell Cable, like, I didn't really come here to fight you. I came here to help you out because I think I have a way to stop Onslaught. I think I have a way to free Franklin Richards. Now, for Cable, he cannot believe what Apocalypse is saying. But for Susan, she wants to. And so she stops the battle. She's kind of like, listen, if he says he has a way to save my son, we need to hear him out. Because for her, she made deals with bad guys in the past before, like Dr. Doom. And so it's her right now telling Cable, like, sometimes you don't have a choice but to make a deal with the devil, like Apocalypse. Now, for Apocalypse, he knows what they have to do to kind of save Franklin Richards. They must go into the astral plane. But for Apocalypse, he really can't do that. But you know who can? Cable. Now for Susan, she wants to go with Cable and Apocalypse to hopefully free her son. But Cable says no, because right now for him, with the techno-organic virus just eating away at his body, he's kind of like, listen, I only have enough energy for me and him, not you. But also, I need the energy to keep the virus at bay in my body at the moment. And so you do have Apocalypse and Cable go ahead and head into the astral plane. And so once you do have the two characters being able to make it over to the astral plane, it's really cool here because you have the book kind of show off the differences between these two characters. Like, for example, for Apocalypse, he says, I wonder if Onslaught himself knows of the untold wreckage he brings upon the universe, how his very existence acts as a siphon funneling down the collective psionic energy of all living creatures for his own personal usage. He finds this amazing. But for Cable, he's kind of like, you are a madman. What kind of madman would love the idea of seeing all this destruction being done across the universe, on Earth, and also in the astral plane as well? Now, with our two characters right now being in the astral plane, it does allow Cable the ability to kind of fix his body back up again, to make sure the techno-organic virus does not have most control over his body. Now, while he is doing that, you have Apocalypse remember that he was the one who gave Cable the techno-organic virus. And he's very surprised to see that Cable is still alive at this point in his life. Now, for Apocalypse, he's kind of like, listen, if you want a battle, we can. I can go ahead and give you a cure for the techno-organic virus. But for Cable, he says no, because with the virus, he learned how to survive, how to do so many things with the virus attached to him, and kept pushing forward. Now, for Onslaught back on Earth, he's still holding on to Franklin Richards. And so you have Franklin right now just hoping for some kind of miracle that somebody will come out of their way to free him from Onslaught's control. But unfortunately right now, little man just gotta sit there for the moment. But for Onslaught, he realized there's something off right now at the moment. Because for Onslaught, he detected Cable and also Apocalypse on the astral plane trying their best to sneak up on him, because in this part in the astral plane, he's vulnerable. Like for our two characters, they should be able to bring Onslaught down. But here's the thing. With Onslaught now knowing they are there, you have him being able to create these psychic constructs of different characters to fight against our heroes, Hulk, Post, and Magneto as well. Now, while you do have our two heroes fighting against these fake versions of other characters, you have Apocalypse finally tell us what is his idea on how to free Franklin from Onslaught's control. And so you have Apocalypse say, in the future, you might become an enemy of mine. You are a threat to my plans down the road. And so to make sure that you're not going to be a threat for me down the road, I must go ahead and kill you off. That was his whole idea of how to free Franklin from Onslaught, by killing Franklin here and now to, well, stop Onslaught, but to also protect his plans down the road. But at the very last second, you then have Susan Richards appear, using her force field as a way to stop Apocalypse from being able to kill off her son. Here's the thing, for Cable, he brought her along with them over to the astral plane, but he had used his ability to keep her hidden from Apocalypse up until this moment right here. Now, once you do have Cable being able to get a hold of Apocalypse, for Onslaught, he begins to take Franklin away. But before he does leave, he tells Franklin, look at these people. Look at this race of people right here. They rather betray one another to achieve their own personal goals, except working together for an even bigger goal. This is ridiculous. Now, for Franklin, he understands what was happening here. Like, no, my mom stopped Apocalypse so that I would not die. Yes, they betrayed him, but for an actual good reason here. Either way, Onslaught does leave. Now, to Apocalypse, he feels like they had failed, but not because of him, because of Cable and also Susan. But here's the thing though, because to Cable, he's kind of like, no, in your mindset, we showed you our weak side, trying our best to save that boy. But in reality, we showed you our strong side by trying to save that boy, but also making sure to stop you as well. Because I know if I had given you a chance to do anything you want to Franklin like you did to me, it would break my heart. Now, Apocalypse does leave. And for Susan, she's now beginning to think that Apocalypse was right. Like, there's no way to save Franklin at all. But for Cable, he tries his best to bring hope into her mind and heart, and the possibility that they will be able to save Franklin Richards. And so you have Apocalypse go back over to the Watcher. Now, when he does, he's trying his best to say, like, yes, they has showed me their weakness. But for the Watcher, he's kind of like, no, what they have shown you is actual strength because they did everything they can to avoid the possibility to become something like you. And that right there is not weak. That shows real strength right there. But to close on this chapter alone, we see that Franklin Richards is different now. Like something changed in him. The possibility that he's no longer going to just sit on the sideline and watch Onslaught being able to win here. That for Franklin, it's now him saying like, it's time for me to take action to hopefully help out the rest of the heroes against this creature. Now, I kind of want to go ahead and transition over to X-Force issue number 58. Now, here's the thing. X-Force issue number 58 is really more of a impact issue. And remember, impact issues are technically just these books that come out to show us the actions of Onslaught affecting other people across the world, like how his actions truly do affect them. And so for X-Force, it's one of those impact issues. And you don't really see the actions of Onslaught affecting them until the very end of this book. But as we dive into the opening pages of this chapter, we are given a flashback. Now, with this flashback, it's kind of cool because we're kind of seeing Roberto playing soccer, Roberto being Sunspot. But this is a callback to the first time he appeared in Marvel Comics. In Marvel Comics Present number 4, which of course gave us the first appearance of the New Mutants. Now for Sunspot, while he's playing soccer, the crowd is there, his girlfriend is there, his dad is there, everything is going great for him. And once he does hit the winning shot, you then have this voice called out to him saying like, Roberto, I need your help. Listen very carefully. I'm somebody you can trust, but I came to you first for a very special reason. You are now and always will be the heart and soul of X-Force. Without you, the rest will not follow. And so it's him saying like, I need you to help save the rest of the X-Force team. So let's go. But as we get back into reality, we're now picking up with Siren. Now, the last time we saw X-Force, they had fought against Mr. Sinister in the earlier parts of our coverage of this event. They lost to him, and he was able to grab Nate Gray and get the heck out of there. And so, unfortunately for X-Force, they were completely knocked out. Siren is the first to wake up, but she realized the rest of the team is still completely knocked out. And so you didn't have her try to contact Cable. The problem is Cable right now is with the rest of the heroes trying to deal with Onslaught at the moment. And so technically for Siren here, she's on her own to find a way to wake up X-Force, starting with Meltdown, better known as Boom Boom. But as we dive into the minds of the different people on X-Force, we now pick up with Meltdown. Now for Meltdown, better known as Boom Boom, in her mind is her trying to kill off Victor Creed, better known as Sabretooth. And here's the reason why, okay? So for Charles Xavier, this man truly believed that he had the ability to cure the mind of Sabretooth, to turn him into a better person, a good guy, which of course was not going to work at all. But here's the thing. You had Logan go out his way to stab the mind of Sabretooth, where of course it did cause some brain damage. Now, for our heroes, they believe the brain damage was very severe, but in reality, it wasn't. Once his mind had healed up, you then had Victor pretend that he was some kind of house pet. Now, when it came to Meltdown, she believed that everybody deserves a second chance, including Victor. And so he kind of played on that for a good while until he had shown his true colors, that technically he was just pretending the entire time. And so in her mind right now, it's her killing him as a way to get payback against him. But that is when she's confronted by Sunspot and our mysterious character. Now, here's the thing, because for each member of X-Force, they are bringing something to the table. They are bringing something to the team. And so for Meltdown, it's Sunspot saying, your fighting spirit, always helps us to keep pushing forward. Even though we face some crazy odds, it's always your fighting spirit that keeps pushing us forward. You need to come with me and our mysterious friend. And so for Meltdown, she's down to go with Sunspot. Now, the next person up is Caliban, and I kind of found this a tad bit funny. And the reason why, because for Caliban, in his mind right now, he's going through the origin of Superman. It's kind of cool. And so once he does crash on Earth, his parents are Cable and also Domino. Now, once you do have him kind of grow up in his mind, he's then confronted by Sunspot, Meltdown, and our mysterious character. Now, for Caliban, what he brings to the team is the idea of hope. And so right now, it's them saying like, you must come with us. Now, for Caliban, he's afraid to go with them because that means they go back into reality where you have, of course, Onslaught at. But you say, listen, just come with us. You can trust us. And for Caliban, he does go with them. Up next is Warpath. Now, for me, this is kind of sad because for Warpath, the only reason why he kind of got involved, the whole idea, all the different X teams and like Emma Frost Hellions, because of his big brother, better known as Thunderbird, who unfortunately died shortly after Giant Size X-Men. And so for Warpath, he's always been trying to do his best for his brother. And so in his mind right now is him being able to spend time with his brother. But just like Caliban in Meltdown, he's confronted by the different members of X-Force. And they say, hey, listen here, Warpath, you bring courage to our team. We need you to come with us once again. Now for Warpath, he wants to bring his brother with him. But the thing is, Thunderbird is already on the other side, the afterlife. Warpath is not there yet. And so it's Sunspot saying like, no, you must come with us if you want to survive. Now, the next person up is Shatterstar. Now, for the X-Force, they had kind of expected to see Shatterstar right now in some kind of battlefield, except he's not. He's just chilling out in the middle of the field, relaxing. And the thing is, he does not want to go with them. But the thing is, you had Sunspot bring up the fact that, listen, you have been trying to figure out answers of your actual origin. And the thing is, if you stay here, you're not going to be able to figure out the answers that you are seeking. But it's also Sunspot saying what you bring to the team right now is your passion. We need you. Your warrior passion is what we're missing at the moment. And so for Sunspot, for Shatterstar, he's down to go because he wants answers to his actual origin. Now, for Domino, she's in the dark at the moment. Now, real quick, for Domino, we have to remember that she never truly wanted to be on X-Force. It was Cable's thing. She only stayed for Cable. It was her love for Cable that made her stay. And so for X-Force, they're like, come with us. She's saying no because she's afraid of fighting her past, bringing light to her past. But it's Sunspot saying, you don't understand. Like for Cable, he is our caretaker, right? Like he is our, our strength. But you bring belief in ourselves. We need your leadership. And so just like that, you have her also going with X-Force as well. Now, this is where I might be a tad bit wrong here, and guys, please forgive me, but we do pick up with our heroes and our mysterious friend who tells them, go into the light. Now, for our heroes, they're going into the light, and it does seem like they're heading into the afterlife. But you didn't have our heroes realize this is wrong. And you didn't have our mysterious character turn into Onslaught. And so for our heroes, they realize what they have to do here. Defeat Onslaught right now in their minds to be able to go back into reality. Where, of course, you do have everyone wake up. Now, when they do wake up, they're confronted by Siren, who's really excited to see them. But at the same time, she's kind of like, okay, how are you guys? Like, what in the world is going on with you? Now, for Warpath, he's right now looking for his new girlfriend, Risque, who had apparently disappeared right after Mr. Sinister had attacked him. So she had now officially exited the book. But then you have our heroes be confronted by astral form of the younger version of Charles Xavier. Now, this younger version of him is telling our heroes, like, thank you. Like, thank to you guys, I am freed from Onslaught. You were the only ones that Onslaught could not completely touch. And so thanks to you guys, you had freed me. And the book kind of ends on that note right there. So we're not going to get another X-Force book for this crossover. So it's going to be a good while before we dive into X-Force once again. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.